Tamar opened up to Tamron Hall about her suicide attempt back in July. She said what led up to her suicide attempt was issues with the We network. She was not allowed to pursue opportunities outside of the network, and that her personal hurt and pain was exploited. On the show, Braxton's Family Values, Tamar also said she was betrayed by a member of her family when they revealed to producers that she was sexually abused by a family member from age 6 to 16. Tamar suffers from anxiety and depression. She says that she has felt suicidal in the past, but she has never acted on it before. Tamar said there was constant turmoil amongst her and her family, and that the constant fighting and arguing led to threats and assault. She said her self-esteem was low, and she carried the label of the angry black woman, and that wasn't the image she wanted to portray, especially as a mother. I really feel so bad for Tamar. This is so sad. And I was so surprised, astonished that she would try to take her life. Because, Tamar kind of reminds you of like that loud family member you had. Everybody has like that loud auntie or cousin or someone. She just seemed very outgoing. She has this big personality, and I just would have never thought that she was that unhappy that she wanted to take her own life. Especially, she's got little Logan, and I was really, really, really surprised. But I'm so glad that she's okay, and that, sounds like she's getting the help that she needs. And it was really sad to learn that she had experienced sexual abuse from a family member from age 6 to 16. Now, y'all, I have to say this was really surprising to me to learn that she was abused for such a long, extended period of time. It's already bad enough to be sexually abused, but to go through that for 10 years? Because Tamar is the baby of the family. She's got 5 other siblings above her. It's kind of hard to understand how that could have happened. So when Tamar was 6, when this abuse would have started, she would have had 2 teenage siblings, Tony and Michael. Tony would have been 16 and Michael 14. So it's just kind of hard to understand how in a household with so many siblings and a big family that someone was allowed to have access who was a close family member. It would have to be an uncle or a cousin, I guess, who comes to the house on a regular basis in order to continue to abuse her for years on end. I don't know, y'all. It makes you wonder, because it would have had to be a pretty close family member. Now, Trina and Tawanda at the time would have been pretty young. They would have been like 8 and 10. Tracy would have been 12. So, at the age of 8 and 10, you're not going to be able to do anything to, fend off a sexual abuser. An abuser is very conniving, and they're very resourceful, and they're manipulative, and they're calculating. So I could understand the younger kids being oblivious and not really being in tune to something like that going on, but it's harder for me to understand the 2 teenagers not looking out for her a little bit more than that, to where she wasn't protected, because to me that just doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm not trying to place blame on Tony or Michael, but I'm just having a hard time understanding how this could happen. And the fact that they come from a 2-parent household. Their parents were together for a long time, before they got divorced. That's the impression that I get from the show. Because Evelyn was still harboring some, anger towards the whole situation, because it was still fairly new. Their mom, Evelyn, she was still hurt because their dad pretty much left their mom for another woman. So her dad was in the home. And usually for a sexual abuser, that's a huge deterrent. And then I was thinking maybe Tony wasn't around, because her career started off before everybody else's. Initially, I think they went in as a group, all the sisters, and they wanted to get a record deal all together, but the record company only wanted Tony. And then later on, I think they got some kind of a record deal or an opportunity later on. So Tony was like 25 when her career started. So that wasn't the situation at all. She would have been around. when she was 16 up to 25, was the age range when all this stuff was happening to Tamar. From 6 to 16 would have been age 16 to 25 for Tony. So I just don't understand. And another thing I was confused about is that Tamar told Tamron that she didn't tell anybody about her abuse. So if that's the case, then that means they knew about it, but it wasn't discussed at all. So I was confused about that. So how would you know about the sexual abuse if Tamar didn't tell you? And nothing was ever done about it? So then you knew she was being abused, but you did nothing, said nothing? Now, as adults were on this show, and you take on the position of telling the producers of the show that she was abused. Someone in her family told them. So she probably feels extremely betrayed, I would imagine. That could be the root of why they've had issues for so long. Tamar and her sisters, especially if Tamar suspected other family members knew. So that could be what's causing a lot of their issues right now in their relationship. All the sisters, and maybe even, with the mom, Evelyn. Now, she did tell Tamron that she talks to her mother every day, but she didn't mention anything about speaking to her sisters. So it kind of makes you think that she may have severed ties when she left the show, which she is said to have left the show in 2018. But she appears in the trailer for season 7. Tamar's former fiance, David Edifiso, filed a restraining order against Tamar, saying that she allegedly attacked him. He is claiming $30,000 in damages to his vehicle. David said the incident took place while he was driving, but Tamar denies it. According to the All About the Tea website, less than 1 week after the physical altercation, David was caught with another woman. The woman is an employee at his company. The two are pictured hanging together on vacation. The relationship could give some insight as to why Tamar broke up with David. Let me know what you guys think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys real soon in the next video. Bye.